In Wolfeboro, there are two public ramps. One is on the main lake near the town docks, and the other, which we're at, is in the back bay. Hey everyone, it's Mark Skipper Mark, and today we are at Lake Winnipesaukee in Wolfeboro, New Hampshire. Typically we launch from Meredith, which is in the northwestern corner of the lake, but today we're launching from Wolfeboro, which is in the southeastern corner of the lake. We decided to launch from here because I love the town, and I didn't really want to drive all the way from Meredith over to Wolfeboro, which is about 20 miles on the water, because it's the last day of the 4th of July weekend, and I thought there could be a lot of traffic and it could be kind of busy. So I'm looking for just a couple hours out on the lake, and we're gonna do some boating and then maybe some swimming, and then come back to the town, have some lunch, and call it a day. So if you have any questions about Lake Winnipesaukee or wave runners in general, just leave a message in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer as best I can. As always, thanks for watching and have a great day. If you launch from the back bay, you have to go under the Main Street Bridge to get to the main lake. The official clearance, according to Bayberry maps, is 4 feet 2 inches, but that can change a lot depending on the lake level, which fluctuates throughout the year. So we're in the tunnel now. Water level looks a little high. After putting on sunscreen, we headed over to South Wolfeboro Bay and then to the Varney Islands. These are a dozen or so islands with large evergreens that look so pretty and rustic against the mountain backdrop. After enjoying the beauty of the area, we headed to Alton Bay in search of 𝗚𝗵𝗽𝗶 Cove and West Alton Marine. But about 3 miles down the cove, I realized I'd gone the wrong way. It wasn't a total loss, however, because I got to see my first Midnight Express boat outside of Miami. It had 5 outboards on the back, but I couldn't tell if they were 450s or 500s, which is what the newer ones come with. I was looking for that creek where the marina is, but it's behind us. On the way out of the bay, we stopped by Little Mark Island to check the house that they've been building for a couple years. It looks finished, but crews were still doing some landscaping. I love the simple design because it looks like an actual cabin and not a mansion. Along the way, we were treated to the MS Mount Washington passing by, and of course we had to stop and get some photos of it. When we arrived at 𝗚𝗵𝗽𝗶 Cove, we knew we were there because it's one of the most popular sandbars on the lake, and on a busy weekend like today, there were hundreds of boats packed into the area. Traffic was slow going into the creek, and we didn't know why, but then we were treated to a special surprise, a 4th of July parade, yay! Those are pretty common in Florida, but we've never seen one here in New England. The water in the creek was super muddy from all the recent rain we've had, and it was quite a contrast from the crystal clear water at the sandbar just a few hundred feet away. The Dive is a floating bar and restaurant, and it's almost always here. A live band was playing, but it was hard to hear over all the festivities of the boats blasting their horns and everyone enjoying the parade. Once we had left the channel, Matt said the most important words of the day. "I'm hungry." That's normally our cue to drop everything and head straight for food, but today was different. He wasn't in a rush, so we continued cruising north past Sleepers and Rattlesnake Island. This is the tallest island on the lake, and it supposedly has excellent views, but I don't think it's open to the public, so we've never been on it. Once we passed the northern tip of Rattlesnake Island, we entered the Broads, which is the most open section of the lake. It's several miles long and 3 to 4 miles wide, and gave Matt plenty of room to zoom around and do donuts. It's actually super calm today. There's just a lot of boat wake, so it's kind of rocky and rough. But for wind, there's like no wind at all. It's almost, I don't know, just maybe 1 or 2 miles an hour. So we're having a great time. And now we're gonna head back over to Wolfeboro because Matt's hungry. And we're gonna grab some food and maybe head out again, maybe go home. Who knows, we're just gonna wing it. After a few minutes, we turned south and headed back to Wolfeboro, choosing to continue the direct route through the Broads rather than wind around the scenic islands. As we neared Wolfeboro, we saw the MS Mount Washington again, but we continued riding and just took a video of it this time. The docks were packed when we arrived, but we managed to find 2 open spots and headed to the main docks to grab some food. Our first stop was the Bayberry juice bar for an iced coffee, and then over to the Docksides restaurant for a couple cheeseburgers. While Nancy waited in line and ordered the food, Matt and I watched boats pass underneath the bridge. He even let me take a selfie with him. That's a rare moment. After we ate, we walked around the docks and admired the boats. Beautiful landscaping at Cate Park. Back on Main Street, I wanted some ice cream from Bailey's Bubble, but the line was crazy long, so we just headed back to the boats. Matt was hoping to get a cookie from the Seven Sons coffee shop, so he and Nancy went there while I ventured out onto the water alone. Unfortunately for him, the place was closed, so they just walked around for a while. I, however, had a great time and headed back to the Varney Islands to snap some photos, and then I continued around Barndoor Island and headed back to the docks. When I got close to the docks, I let Nancy know I was back, and Matt went and got the Jeep. That gave me a chance to pack up my gear and get everything ready for the ride home. All right, well, I am back. Matt and Nancy stayed in Wolfeboro while I went out and zoomed around a little bit. They wanted to go get some food and cookies and stuff, and the line was long, and I said, you know what, I'll just run out and do that while you guys get your food. So I'm back at the docks now, and Matt and Nancy went to get the trailer, and so as soon as they come, I will go put this on the trailer. I'm really happy that we came here to Wolfeboro today. It was exactly what I wanted, just a couple hours out on the water. We had a great time. Didn't spend a ton of time out there. A little busy, a lot of waves, but not too bad. I know Nancy doesn't like to bounce around too much. When I went out, it was quite a bit calmer, and I was able to go a little faster overall. But if you have any questions about Lake Winnipesaukee, wave runners, anything like that in general, just, shoot me a message in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. As always, thanks for watching and have a great day. Before leaving, the lake host came over and asked Matt where we were boating next. It looked like he wrote down our answer and then walked off. Does anybody know what the purpose of this is? I understand the need to control invasive species, but are these towns and states starting to track where people boat? Are they building a database so they can look up our history and see where we've been? Drop a comment below and let me know if this is something you experience where you boat. I'd love to hear your thoughts.